We back, baby. Yes, people, man's back. I know I've been away for a bit still, but get me, had to work and that. Actually had 2 jobs since I left actually, but yeah man, I'm back. Got some free time now. Looking to get this channel up to where it's supposed to be. Get me, best reaction channel on YouTube, you know, for them, you know, religion reactions, spirituality reactions. You know what it is, man. Your boy Dan is back, Infinite Dan. Like, comment, subscribe. As usual, we're back on this thing. I'm looking to bang out a video every single day. So like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you want to react, what you want me to react to, should I say. I can't even speak. But yeah, boy, man's back. You get me? It's different settings, different surroundings from before, but get me, man's here. And yeah, bro, let's get into it. Back on my Qu'ran reactions. Today we are doing Surat Ash-Shams. Surat Ash-Shams. That's what we're reacting to today. Hope you guys are ready for this one. I know it's a short one, but I think there's a lot to analyze on here. I had a quick look on Qu'ran.com. Just had a quick little brief browse through to see if there was any particular ones that would like stuff that I could speak about in a bit more detail that were not too long, just for my little comeback video here. So there we go, let's get into it. Surat Ash-Shams.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wash-shamsi wa duhaha wal qamari idha talaha.
Okay, first interesting point here. Sorry, I know some people don't like me pausing the holy words. I do apologise, but this is the only way I can really analyse it and react to it, so do accept my apology on that. But that's really interesting. So the first 2 lines of the surah were by the sun and its brightness, and the moon when it follows it. Now that's very important. It's showing that the Quran really had scientific knowledge that was quite unknown at that period. wasn't as well known as it is today, for sure. It was only known by a select few. The layman, as you would say, would not know this, but you know, the sun rotates on itself. So does the moon. It rotates on itself at the same pace as the earth, coincidentally. And as they rotate, they are pulled by the sun's gravity and they rotate around the sun. As the earth's rotating on itself, it's also rotating around the sun, as are the moons. And it literally says it here, by the moon when it follows it. So the moon is following the sun, as science has proven that the gravitational pull of the sun pulls all the planets in the solar system around it. So clear scientific proofs of the workings of the solar system here in the Quran 1400 years ago. Got off to a good start, man. Let's go.
والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها.
Okay, this is a very interesting point as well in a lot of spiritual texts. Especially, I know always, if you watch my past videos, I always talk about the Ra material, the law of one. They talk about the soul being an individualized portion of the one infinite creator, of God, of Allah. And it says, by God who proportioned the soul, proportioned it, made it a portion. What in many religious texts and many spiritual beliefs believe the soul is a spiritualized, individualized portion of the Creator. Sikhism, Hinduism, the law of one, many beliefs believe this. I know some would argue that this isn't the same portrayal that's accepted in Islam, in Orthodox Islam, maybe more in Sufism. But yeah, it seems to be making a reference to this here, but obviously it's a lot to read into from one line, so let's keep going.
فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود.
Okay, so once again to reiterate in the purpose of life, to do good, to do good deeds, to be of service to others, to give charity, to be a good person, a good Muslim, submit your will to God. And those who corrupt the soul with unrighteous deeds, evil deeds, wrongdoings, then self-explanatory, it corrupts the soul. Okay, let's keep going, let's take it back a little bit. Okay, Talmud deny by reason of their transgression. Talmud, who are the Talmud? Let's do a quick bit of research on that. Okay, so the Talmud. Okay, Islamic sources. So, Arab Islamic sources state that the Talmud were an early Arab tribe that had gone extinct in the ancient days. Talmud is mentioned 23 times in the Quran as part of a moralistic lesson about God's destruction of sinful nations, a central motif in the Quran. According to the Quran, the Talmud were the successors of a previous nation called the Ad, who had also been destroyed for their sins. They lived in houses carved into the surface of the earth. God chose the prophet Salih to warn the polytheistic Talmud that they should worship the one God. The tribe refused to heed him, saying that Salih was a mere mortal, and demanded a sign from God. God sent down a milk camel as his sign, and Salih told his countrymen that they should not harm the camel and allow it to drink from their well. But the Talmud cut its hamstrings, or otherwise wounded it. God then destroyed the tribe except for Salih and a few other righteous men. The means of God's destruction of Talmud included a thunderbolt, a storm, a shout, and an earthquake. The shout, which is an extremely loud sound, might have caused the earthquake, according to certain scholars. The account presented in Surah An-Naml also mentions the nine evil people of Talmud, who are immediately responsible for God's punishment of their people, in a narrative reminiscent of the Jewish description of the demise of Sodom. Okay, so I think it's got a quote here. So, to the Talmud we sent their brother Salih. He said, "My people worship God, you have no God other than him. It is he who brought you into being and from the earth and made you inhabit it, so ask forgiveness from him and turn back to him. My Lord is near and ready to answer." They said, "Salih, we used to have such great hope in you. Will you forbid us to worship what our fathers worshipped? We are in great doubt about what you are asking us to do." He said, "My people, just think. If I had clear proof from my Lord, if he had given me mercy of his own, who could protect me from God if I disobeyed him? You would only make my loss greater. My people, the camel belongs to God, a sign for you. So leave it to pasture on God's earth and do not harm it, or you will soon be punished." But they hamstrung it, so he said, "Enjoy life for another 3 days. This warning will not prove false." And so when our command was fulfilled, by our mercy we saved Salih and his fellow believers from the disgrace of that day. So this is from the Quran. The Prophet says, "It is your Lord who is strong, the mighty one." The blast struck the evildoers, and they lay dead in their homes, as though they had never lived and flourished there. Yes, the Talmud denied the Lord, so away with the Talmud. Okay. Goes on to say, the Islamic exegetical tradition adds detail to the Quran's account. Accordingly, the Talmud were a powerful and idolatrous tribe living in Hegra, now called Madain Salih, the cities of Salih. in northwestern Arabia. When Salih began to preach monotheism, the Talmud demanded that he proved his prophethood by bringing forth a pregnant camel from solid rock. When God permitted the prophet to do this, some of the tribesmen followed Salih, while many powerful leaders continued to oppose him. After giving birth, the camel drank all the water from a well every 2 days and then produced enormous amounts of milk for the people. But it was hamstrung and eventually killed by the 9 people of Talmud, who then attempted but failed to kill Salih himself. Having failed to save his people, Salih warned that they would be destroyed after 3 days. On the first day, the skin would turn yellow, on the second day red, and on the final destruction black. Okay. This came to pass. Talmud was annihilated. The traditional Muslim view is that the destruction of Talmud occurred before the prophethood of Abraham. A hadith tradition preserved in the Sahih al-Bukhari collection narrates that the Islamic prophet Muhammad called Hegra the land of Talmud and did not follow his troops to drink from its wells or to use its water, and to never enter its ruins unless weeping lest occur to you what happened to them. The stone constructions at Hegra are actually mostly from the Nabatean period, especially the 1st century CE. The 9th century Muslim scholar Ibn Sa'd believed that the Talmud were the Nabateans. Wow, beautiful sculptures they did make from that rock though. Amazing. Similar thing I've seen in Turkey actually, carving it straight into the rock. Okay. A poem. Okay, so there we have the explanation of the Talmud. So the line we were at was the Talmud denied their prophet by reason of their transgression. So they hamstrung the camel and they killed the camel later, denying the prophet's proof of God, proving that he was a real prophet. Okay, let's continue.
فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها.
Wow, okay, very interesting there. So, firstly, we had the proof in the Quran that the moon and subsequently the earth, as the earth follows the moon, revolve around the sun. They follow the sun around due to the gravitational force. Solid scientific proofs given in the Quran 1400 years ago. Amazing. We have the story of the Talmud. We have the description of the spirit, actually, the soul before that, being proportioned by God. Very interesting word, proportioned. I can see why there's some splits in the Muslim beliefs in terms of some Muslims say God is strictly not a part of creation. Some, like the Sufi Muslims, say God is part of the creation. The creation is God. God is the creation. I know then you've got the whole thing about the throne. God sits upon the throne above his creation and apart from his creation. So I know it's a big topic there. But here in this line in the surah, it does seem to lean towards that the soul was proportioned off from something else greater. The only thing the soul could be a proportion of is the greater soul, the oversoul, the soul that is God, the Almighty Spirit of God. So it could lean towards that, but obviously I don't have the full knowledge of the continuing surat and the following part, so I won't make a full claim on that. I'll have to do a bit more research into that. But I can see where the two splits come in the Islamic beliefs there. Very, very interesting. And finally, the Talmud, or the Talmudi. A tribe that didn't believe the Prophet Salih. He came with a proof, a camel from God. They killed the camel and then they suffered for bringing destruction to one of God's miracle creatures. So yeah, very interesting. Great introduction back into not the destruction and what happened, but you know, it's great to be brought back into. It's great to be back into the reaction field like this. You know, I actually missed it, analysing the texts, analysing the truths, doing my little research, adding my knowledge from other religions, other spiritual practices, and yeah, it's good to be back. So yeah, you're gonna get a video every day now. So like, comment, subscribe. I'm here. I'm trying to make this channel proper. I'm trying to actually build something concrete here. It's not just a little flyaway thing that I'm doing. So yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, support the channel. Peace, and I'll catch you in a bit. Love.